Now, who doesn't love a warm breakfast wrap? When I'm short on time, I love to treat myself to a McDonald's or a Tim Hortons breakfast, but maybe I won't have to anymore with this farmer's wrap made with sausage, cheese, eggs, and homemade hash browns. Let's see how to make this recipe freezer friendly, and don't skip around so you see exactly how to get this right every single time. And make sure to sign up to the newsletter for updates on the upcoming cookbook. So let's start by making our turkey sausage first. So here's my minced turkey, and to this I'll add in some cayenne pepper, some paprika, some black pepper, and then finally a bit of salt. Now just mix this all really well. I'm just going to use my KitchenAid mixer to save some time, and the best way to taste if the salt is right is to cook a bit of the sausage and adjust as needed. I'm just going to portion these out into 1.5 ounce balls and then put some olive oil over the top as well. And then using another parchment paper, it's going to flatten that out into patties. This is a great way for you to make a bunch of patties hand smashed in bulk. Now, I speak about this sausage recipe in much more detail in the full recipe. I'll link that down below. But this is the perfect time to now freeze these sausages and have it ready to go whenever you need it. So let's put those aside and focus on our hash browns. Now here are some regular Yukon Gold potatoes. I love their flavors personally, and I'm just gonna peel all of these potatoes. If you want, you can keep the peels. It's a personal preference. And once you're all done with peeling, we can go two ways from here to make the actual hash browns. The first way is to use a box grater and use the bigger holes to grate the potatoes out completely. The other way would be to take these potatoes and cut them into super small dice, just around 1/4 inch thick maximum. But I personally prefer this method because it's so much faster. Now all the potatoes have been grated. I'll just transfer these into a bowl, and now we'll flood that bowl with some cold water to get the excess starch out of these potatoes. This in turn will help make our hash browns extra crispy when they are done. Soak this for around 15-20 minutes minimum, and then drain all that water and rinse it with some cold water just to get all that excess starch out. Let any excess water just drain out, and let's start making the hash brown. So in a pan, heat up some olive oil and let that get nice and hot. Now add all of your potatoes into that pan and give it a good mix just to coat each strand well with the oil. Now add in some spices. So we'll start by some salt, some cayenne pepper, some onion powder, and some garlic powder as well. I would keep cayenne as an optional spice. Mix all of this together, coat the spices well into the potatoes, and now keep a close eye on the doneness of the potatoes. We are not looking to cook these completely, and you only want to cook them halfway or about 65-70% of the way, so that when you take a bite of it, and I suggest you try it, it should be soft on the edges but still have a bit of a bite in the middle. Now transfer this into a large enough bowl and let it cool down slightly before we start adding in our binding agents. So I'll start by adding in some corn flour or corn starch, and then start giving this a bit of a mix to bring that cornstarch together with the potatoes. Now it's going to be too wet at this point. So go ahead and start adding in your rice flour in there as well. And the rice flour will actually help make our hash browns extra crispy. Now we use a combination of the corn flour or cornstarch with the rice flour to kind of make like a dough almost. The dough is made of the potato, corn flour, our spices, and the rice flour. Once you have a consistency that's not sticking to your fingers, you are good to go. And you can see here that the potatoes are not mush. You can still see each little strand, each little shred of potato, and that helps add the texture into the final hash brown. Now I just divvied these up into smaller golf ball sized portions, and now all you have to do is pat them out into your hash brown shape. Alternatively, you could just flatten this out into a baking sheet and cut out this shape instead. I just like working with my hands a bit more. And again, you can clearly see that the potatoes are at the perfect texture because they're not mush and you can see the potato. Now we have some oil heating on medium heat, enough to give a good sizzle the moment you add the potatoes in. There should not be any smoke coming out of your oil because we do want to cook the potato all the way inside as well as getting that beautiful crust. So don't cook this too quickly. It's also a good idea to take a slotted spoon and go under some of those hash browns to make sure they're not stuck on the pan. Now, how long do you want to fry it for? How golden brown do you like it? Well, that's going to answer it. I'm not going to tell you how to enjoy your hash browns because I like mine quite brown, quite crispy. But maybe you like it light brown and meaty and softer inside. So I'll let you pick what you prefer more. These hash browns at this stage are good to take out, but I just want mine to be a little more browner, a bit crispier, so I'm gonna let it cook a bit longer. Now, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you might have noticed I've been trying wraps, breakfast wraps, a lot lately, and that was in preparation for this recipe. And you might have also seen a sneak peek of this recipe if you're on Instagram, so be sure to check me out there. But the whole point of this wrap and making it in the way that we will be seeing is to really make these in advance, enjoy it in the moment, and whenever you need it, a nice, delicious, healthy breakfast, then it's ready to grab and go, either from the fridge or the freezer. Now that's what I'm talking about. This is the perfect level of cook for my like. Let me know in the comment section down below, would you have used hash browns cooked a bit lighter golden brown, like a few seconds earlier, or is this what you're all into? I'm really curious to know this. So just take all of your hash browns out whenever it's ready based on your taste and just set them aside. We'll keep them warm in a baking sheet in an oven heating at 350 while we prep the rest of the elements for our wrap. Now here's a quick sauce I'll be making. So here is some sour cream followed by some mayo and a touch of sriracha, and finally a couple of chopped pickles. Give this all a quick mix, and this simple sauce to help finish our wrap is ready to go. Now let's get to the eggs, and of course you can do this concurrently. You can make the sauce on the side while the pan is heating up, and then another pan is heating up for the sausage. Now for the eggs, heat up your oil, your favorite oil, and then start cracking in all of your eggs in the pan. This is meant to really help speed up this prep process so you can really just pump out these wraps. I want my yolks to be cracked, so I'm going to crack all of them. Then just season with some salt and pepper, put the lid on to finish cooking the tops until they are to your doneness. I'm going to cook it all the way, and just to help portion it later on, just cut out some portions around the yolk, and once they're done, just set them aside. And now we'll focus on our sausage. Now in the same pan, there's still some grease on there. We put some olive oil on the patties anyways, so just add in your patties on the hot pan, and we'll cook these until they get a nice golden brown color, and then we'll give them a flip to cook the other side and cook it all the way through as well. Feel free to substitute the turkey with chicken or pork, and once this is ready, you'll have something that looks and gleams just like that. Now put that aside in the same baking sheet as your eggs, and look at what we have here. We have a nice hash browns, nice sausage, eggs, and we are literally ready to roll. But before that, I need a snack. Just check out that hash brown. You can see the potatoes. It's not mashed potatoes because we cooked it just right, and just the hash browns themselves makes this recipe a must have. Now if nothing else has sold you, this should definitely sell you to make this recipe. This is the list of the ingredients on a McDonald's hash brown, and this is what's in our hash brown. You pick. Putting this together is a lot of fun and very similar to an assembly line. Here is some applewood smoked cheddar, which I'll just break roughly, put it on the bottom layer, followed by my eggs, and then I'm gonna add in some of my sauce right on top. I'm gonna leave some without the sauce, some with the sauce, then on top add in your turkey, sausages, and then finally our crispy hash brown, the star of our show, honestly. Now just take some parchment paper, put the wrap over it, about 3/4 of the way in, just so you have a bit of a lip of the sandwich when you're done wrapping. Seal the bottom, close the tops, and then wrap it tightly with that portion paper. This is a wrap. So do you guys like the idea of making fast food at home? First, tell me if it is actually faster, and take into account delivery or pickup or the driving time when you do have your favorite fast food. And two, if you just like to make your favorite fast foods at home, that's even better. And if you do, like this recipe so other people just like you can watch this video as well. Share this recipe with somebody who constantly hits the drive-thru for breakfast. Maybe this will change their lives. If you live to cook, then be sure to subscribe to this channel. I have a couple years of experience working behind the line at restaurants, and I'm hoping to use those skills to teach you how to get recipes from the fridge to your table in the most efficient and easiest way possible. And if you want to pair this homemade wrap with a homemade French vanilla, watch the recipe over here. And if you like this recipe, you're sure to like my make ahead breakfast sandwich as well. Bye guys.